Hello and welcome back to another video, and today, as you can see, we are playing on the World Superbike 2020 mod once again, and this time we're actually doing a challenge on it. And I thought, since obviously there was a World Superbike round this weekend at Aragon, we could do a last to first challenge like we do with MotoGP. So what I've decided to do today is, since Chaz Davies this whole weekend basically his qualifying was quite poor and he was coming through the pack in every single race and actually being extremely fast, so I thought today we'd kind of try and replicate that. So we start from the back of the grid, which is 22nd position, playing as Chaz Davies. Ignore all the faces and stuff, by the way. Obviously we don't have any 3D models for the World Superbike faces, so there's not really much you can do about it. But let's get this race started then. 22nd on the grid, like I said, we've got a 50% race because it's Aragon, it's quite a difficult track to pass on, and we'll see how high up the order we can get.
The final riders have taken their place on the starting grid and everything is ready to start the race. Just a few seconds to go and the lights at the Aragon track will signal the start of the race. So
Toprak actually on pole position ahead of Johnny Ray in second and Alex Lowe's in third place. But we're waiting for the lights to go here then as Chaz Davies at the back of the grid. Lights out and away we go. Off the line. See if we can get a decent start. Got to try and pass as many riders as we can on this first up at the inside of Mikado, hitting the brakes then. Around the outside is that Takahashi. Trying to turn the bike. Sylvain Barrier just in front of us. Trying to get up the inside of Barrier. Maximilian Sheeb's quite far down the order. I think Garrett Gerloff is just in front of them. Actually, no, it's not Gerloff. I think it's Karakazulu actually. But up to 20th place. It's not been the best start, it must be said. Lorenzo Gabellini on the inside there. We're looking for the outside. Can't quite do. I think Mikado's almost hit us at the back there. Bautista having a battle with Baz a little bit further up the order. So here we go then, looking at the inside of a few riders at the inside of Takahashi. Can we get it stopped? Yes, we can. Don't know who that is. I think it's Gabellini. It's gone a bit wide now. Side by side with Karakazulu. Trying to get on the inside of him. I haven't picked up any damage, have I? Because I've had a little bit of contact with him there. We're up into 16th place and Michael Ruben Rinaldi just in front of us. Can we try and get past Rinaldi on the inside through turn 10? Can we pull it off? Not quite. So Rinaldi just in front of us. Sheeb looking back at us there. Sheeb in 14th position. Well, it's now down to 15th. Rinaldi has gone past him to hit the brakes then for the tricky... Is this turn 12? I think this corner is turn 12, right? Yes, it is. I'm remembering. It always seems to turn 12, so the tricky downhill left-handers at tracks. But here we go then, looking at the inside of Sheeb, up the inside of it to 50, so up into the point scoring positions already on the first lap of 12. Oh, Sheeb back up the inside, no bit of contact with Sheeb. I kind of turned in on him, I didn't realise he was going back for the dive bomb. But the power of this Ducati, obviously it's against Rinaldi, which is another Ducati, but we've got a really good slipstream. Wow, we've had a really good exit past Rinaldi. Can we get past Lavati on the BMW as well? There we go, past Lavati, but we're going in way too hot, almost hitting Xavi Forres up the back there. So we've run extremely wide. It's going to allow Lavati back through. Is it going to allow Rinaldi through? Rinaldi still on the inside, side by side with Rinaldi. Raskatioglu still leading ahead of Ray and then Vandermark apparently. But in the slipstream then of Lavati hitting the brakes for this turn 1. We've actually got in front of Rinaldi then. So we're up into 14th. A decent start to the race, it must be said. So Lavati up next and then Forres in front of him. And then I think it looks like it's Garrett Gerloff just ahead of them. And I think that might be then... is that Marco Melandri then in front of them? I think it is. It's kind of hard to tell though from a distance. Of course the performances aren't... I need to tweak the performances definitely for this mod, of course. They're based on Australia, so they are quite wrong now. But we're looking at the inside of Lavati. I don't know what I've just done there. I've absolutely rammed Lavati up the back. Luckily we haven't gained from that. Looks like we haven't got any damage either. The damage is on, by the way. I know I've had a couple of bits of contact and not picked up any damage, but the damage is on. So as we flick the bike left then through turn 9, still trying to size up Eugene Lavati. We've been sat behind him for quite a while, but of course we had such a good first lap. We can afford to take our time a little bit, but we don't want to let the AI at the front get away, such as Raskatioglu. He should have pretty good pace around here. Obviously in real life he struggled quite a bit, but in this mod he is extremely fast. And we're looking around the outside of Lavati. There we go, up into 13th there. So Xavi Forres up next. So yeah, it has been around a lap since we've been behind Lavati because we almost hit Forres at the back into the last corner. We've turned in very early for 14. That hopefully will allow us to set up 50 beautifully. Oh, Lavati diving up the inside, just crashing into the side of us there. That really affected my run quite a bit. It definitely affected Lavati's. We're in the slipstream of Xavi Forres, and now again the Ducati power, this V4R goes flying past the Kawasaki then, so hitting the brakes. Garrett Gerloff now in front of us, and it is actually Leon Haslam in front of Gerloff. It's not Marco Melandri as I once thought it was. Marco Melandri's in front of Tom Sykes ahead of them, so Raskatioglu actually getting away here in this race. We're lapping much slower than him, so Toprak looks like he's got this one already dominated, but it'll be interesting to see if Johnny Ray can actually go with him or not. But Gerloff is the rider we need to set our sights on now. Lap 3 of 12, so at the end of this lap then we'll have completed 1/4 race distance. I know my rear tyre is quite cold, but I did do a couple of laps just to see how basically the bike felt at this circuit, because I haven't really played Aragon for a while, and a soft tyre overheated so much, so I decided to go for a hard tyre. But we are closing up to the back of Garrett Gerloff now then. But we're not going to quite be able to attack him yet. Probably wait till the straight, but I don't want to wait that long behind him. So if we could try and pass Gerloff quickly, that would be great. To the left-hand side of Garrett then. Past the American up into 11th position. Oh, now we have picked up some damage from hitting the back of Leon Haslam. So we've had a lot of contact in this race. It is about time we pick up damage. It doesn't look like we're missing a winglet, luckily. So obviously that is much worse when you lose a winglet. So through turn 10 then. Haslam actually getting away from us a little bit. Obviously that Honda as well has also got fantastic straight line speed. Not quite as good as the Ducati, but not far off. And we're closing massively up. But now we have hit him. Now we have lost a winglet. We made a big mistake there. Oh, I need to really work on getting this bike stopped, because we've hit so many AI riders up the back. They just seem to brake extremely early compared to where I would obviously ideally brake. So that is a bit annoying. But actually we had a very good exit there compared to Leon Haslam. I don't know if we're going to be able to pass him though in the slipstream. We seem to be gaining quite a bit. The bike actually doesn't seem to be handling too badly, since it is only light damage, of course. We are close up to Leon, but Leon looks like he's looking for a move on Tom Sykes as well at the same time, so that definitely doesn't help things. So we're looking for a way around this Fireblade. The Fireblade really is a nice looking bike, I must say, although the V4R is also quite a nice looking bike as well. So over the line then this lap, 47.7, so a bit closer to what Top Rack is doing, but not quite the same lap time. We're looking for the outside on Leon Haslam as we go into the first corner. We still haven't quite found our way past our fellow Brit here. Obviously a lot of British riders in the World Superbike class, probably because BSB is such a strong competitive field. So probably our main feeder series is a Superbike series, and it's the best domestic Superbike series, I believe, in terms of skill level anyway. A lot of people obviously coming from overseas to race in British Superbikes sometimes, but we've braked very late through turn 7. But hopefully, if we can get the power here, we might want to have an attack on Leon Haslam down into his right hand. Obviously, this is where we hit him at the back on the previous lap. Up the inside we go. We've passed him now. Will he be able to get back past us? I don't think so. So we're up into the top 10 now. Tom Sykes on the BMW. We already passed his teammate Eugene Laverty a couple of laps ago, so it's Tom Sykes' turn now. So we obviously are closing up a lot to Tom Sykes. The BMW not as good as his Ducati, and it seems like there's quite a big pack then up ahead. So if we can get past Sykes, we've got to bridge a bit of a gap to, I think that's Marco Melandri on the back of that group. So Melandri seeming to be very good in this race. But we've had a great switch back through 15 there on Sykes. Sykes made a big mistake. Past Sykes, we go up into 9th position. So obviously on this lap, we've moved into the top 10. We've now moved into the top 9. So let's see if we can catch up to Marco Melandri in front of us. Razkatioglu is still getting away, 47.4 on that lap. I've done a 47.4 as well, so we're now matching Top Rack, but yeah, we're too far behind. We're not going to catch him up, that's for sure. So coming up towards the line then at the end of this lap, 47.1, so the new fastest lap of the race then set by us, Chaz Davies on this lap. So we are closing in on Marco Melandri. I think Van der Mark has now gone past Johnny Ray up into second. So it's a Yamaha 1-2 currently here at Aragon, so quite a far cry from what it was in real life. So through the final turn then, Baz is a little bit wide. Melandri's looking for a way around him. So Razkatioglu responds with another fast lap of the race, and I once again go even faster, but only by a tiny bit. So we're definitely not going to be catching up to Top Rack in this one. But Melandri moves ahead of Loris Baz then. So Loris Baz on the Tenkate Yamaha in front of us, but side by side with Melandri still on the Barney Racer Ducati. Has Baz got this one? He's just going to slip behind Marco, I think. Yes, so Marco actually doing fantastically in this race so far. Baz has actually kind of been sent a bit wide by Melandri. Melandri still on the inside of Baz, and I'm closing up to both of them at this same time as well. Now this is where we could end up getting bottlenecked, sort of behind them battling, whereas we're not running the same pace as the riders in front. So if we can get past these two, then it's Bautista next. So will Baz go defensive into this left-hander? No, not left-hander, right-hander, sorry. I don't know why I said left-hander. This next corner's a left-hander on the inside of Baz. Oh, that was a bit aggressive. But have we got it stuck on the inside through turn 10? Is he going to have to leave us the space? No, we're going to have to back out of that one. So still behind Loris Baz for now. But I'm hoping that we should be able to get past him on the straight. And then obviously we'll be behind Marco Melandri once again. Or maybe we can even get him sooner. We are closing right up to Loris Baz. Although I can't see myself getting past him before that, because the AI aren't too bad into this beginning of this section. It's the end where they're not too great. So if we set that move up how it should be done, out of this corner, then actually not the best setup I've done of it the entire race. The best one was on Sykes, but in the slipstream then of Loris Baz, flying past him, up into 8th place. Now it's been a while since we've picked off any positions, but Marco Melandri's up next, but my front tyre is actually really starting to overheat now. I don't know if that's because of the lack of wing. Perhaps I'm not generating as much downforce, so I'm having to brake harder. Actually, you would have thought that losing wing actually would have cooled the front tyre down rather than heating up. So I think it's just me braking really, really hard on the front is what's causing the overheating. So we've got to watch out for that. So as we're about to start the 9th lap of the race then, 1 minute 47.1. So again, a pretty decent lap, but we're on the back of Marco Melandri now. He's closing up to his former teammate. No, not his former teammate. I don't think they were ever teammates, ever. They might have been in MotoGP, but I don't think so. They've both formerly ridden this Aruba.it Ducati. So Chaz is catching up to 2 of his former teammates, Melandri and Alvaro Bautista, of course. So can we try and pass Melandri? We have been stuck behind him for quite a while now. Although once he got past Baz, he got away a little bit before I got back past Baz. Can we have an attack into this right-hander? I don't think I'm going to be close enough to go for a move into there. But if I can get a good exit, I can do what I did to Leon Haslam, hopefully. But we just haven't got the drive. We haven't got the drive out of there. Obviously another Ducati we're against. Around the outside we're going though. We've gone in way too hot into turn 8. And that is definitely going to cost me a lot of time. Although actually it hasn't been too bad. We're still pretty close to him. So out of 15 then, we've tried to set up this move once again in the slipstream with Marco. We're extremely close to him. We should be able to pull out the slipstream and go past him, although it's going to be really close. We're pulling out now. There we go, side by side towards the braking zone. We've actually got the move done before we even get to the braking zone. So Alvaro Bautista up next, then it's Alex Lowe's, then it's Jonathan Ray. And I don't think we'll be even close to getting any of the others. I don't think we can even get the 2 Kawasaki's, if I'm totally honest. But Van der Mott, 46.8 on that lap then. What have I just done? A 47.1. So I'm lapping pretty consistently at the 47.1s now. So here we go then, close up to Bautista. I'm going to go for the move on the inside into this right-hander. Through turn 8, have we actually pulled this one off? Yes, we have. So up into 6th place then. Alex Lowe's up ahead. We actually might be able to get Alex Lowe's, but I'm not sure about Jonathan Ray because there is a really, really short amount of time left in this race now. Just 2.5 laps. We are in the slipstream, Alex Lowe's, but I don't think we're going to be close enough to make any move at the end of this straight, but perhaps we can have a go into turn 1. We actually close up to him a lot more than I thought we would. That is the power of the Ducati for you. I guess we have just been trying to pass other Ducatis and then Hondas as well, which both have really good top end. We've only got 1.6 laps of fuel left though, so as we come over the line then, 46.9, so my fastest lap of the race and fastest lap for quite a while as well. So we're all over the back of Alex now. Surely we're going to pass him in this first sector as we go up the hill. Oh, not quite been able to do it. Jonathan is actually getting away in front of us, so I do need to try and pass Alex as quickly as I can. So we're having to use a bit of power mode 0 now to try and save the fuel, which has definitely cost us some time to Lowe's. But in the slipstream, we should just be able to get past him before the final corner. And then it is Jonathan Ray to catch up to now, but we've braked on the curb, which has sent me a bit wide. That's going to allow Alex straight back through, surely. And that's definitely our chances at getting Ray done with. We've had massive contact with Alex. Well, we had minor contact with him. We've now got moderate damage, though, unfortunately. The bike is really hanging over to the side now. We've still got past Alex anyway. Can we try and get past Johnny on this last lap? I don't know if we can, but it's going to be really, really close. So we're really close in terms of fuel as well. 1.2, even though we saved power mode 0 for basically the entirety of that previous lap. Right, I'm really giving it everything I've got on this last lap, but the bike is just pulling so much to the left-hand side. It just doesn't want to stop as well. Look how far Ray is in front. And I've not even set up this corner that nicely. 0.2 laps of fuel as well. I'm actually going to have to go to power mode 0. I'm all over the green. We've got 6 tenths back to Alex, so he should be okay. But the bike is pulling literally to the right-hand side on this straight. It's pretty atrocious. So here we go then into this last corner. We're closing a lot up to Jonathan, but we're really, really low on fuel. Actually, 0.1 laps of fuel left. We actually might run out on the way to the line. I've actually not done that for a long time on this game, but we're just going to make it. So it's going to be 5th place here then, as Chaz Davies. A pretty decent recovery ride. It's just unfortunate we picked up that damage. So then Toprak Razkatioglu ends up winning the race, and then Michael van der Mark in 2nd, Scott Rudd in 3rd, Jonathan Ray in 4th, Chaz Davies in 5th, Alex Lowe 6th. Alvaro Bautista gets ahead. Actually, it was already ahead of Melandri, wasn't he? So Alvaro Bautista gets 7th, then 8th for Melandri, 9th for Baz, and 10th for Leon Haslam. We actually had pretty decent pace, not quite the pace of the Yamahas. We were 1,000ths faster than Scott Redding, so we had the pace of our teammate, even with damage for the majority of the race. That moderate damage really, really did me right at the end there. Such small contact with Alex Lowe's. I didn't actually think we'd actually quite hit each other, but we had a little bit of contact. And you would actually think, oh, you can't really pick up much more damage. You've lost your wing on that side. But no, that made it absolutely horrible. So I'm not sure whether beforehand when I lost the wing it was more like a little visual thing, and then the game actually realised I'd lost the wing when I had the second contact. I'm not too sure on that. But anyway, it was a good battle. I actually really enjoyed trying to fight my way through the pack. 7.2 seconds behind in the end. So really, the front three were so dominant in that race. I have to see how far behind the guys at the back were. 22nd was Eugene Laverty in the end then. So only 22 seconds behind. There's quite a big gap between Haslam and Gerloff by the end though. Haslam was actually catching up to the back of Baz, but he couldn't quite do it. But yeah, all in all, a very fun race. I'd like to maybe do this again for some more World Superbike rounds. Let me know if you want me to do that, of course. There is no link to the mod, by the way, because it's not released yet. It will get released when we're sort of ready to release it, so when it's a bit more finished, or it might even be soon. I'm not sure when we want to release it yet, but don't, you know, go asking for a link because there isn't one. I will update the description to have a link in it once there is one, so if there's no link in the description, the mod isn't released yet, so don't bother asking for one. But I'm sure people still will inevitably do that anyway, because they just won't watch this part, or will just ignore it, because it happens every time. Even when you specify there's no link, people still ask for one. But yeah, that brings the video to a close, and so I hope you guys have enjoyed that one. Hope you enjoyed the rest of your day. Hope you're all staying safe, and I shall see you in the next one.